gentlemen, it's such an honor to be here and to address such amazing audience. Before I start my speech, I would like to say thank you to Cendana Festival Project 2021 that has given me the opportunity to participate in the finals of this English speech competition. Although we're in this pandemic situation, I hope it won't ruin and affect our productivity. 2nd of March 2021 has given me some thoughts about life before pandemic. Do you remember when the first pandemic started? 2nd of March 2020. It's been a year. And have you remembered that you've gotten an email from school saying school will be closed due to the pandemic situation? School will be studying offline again after April. Well, that never started. I kept thinking, what actually happened in this pandemic? Well, the first pandemic started, the market was so full of people buying face masks, medicine, and stuff that keeps our hand sanitation. I first thought that the pandemic will start very soon and will finish just in April or May, but it's been 2 years. Well, almost 2 years. By the Harvard scientists, the lockdown option was not enough to stop the spread. They even estimated that the physical distancing is maintaining a distance will last until 2022. This is all necessary to prevent a new wave outbreaks of the coronavirus. Responding to this, University of Indonesia epidemiologist Pandu Riono said it was difficult to maintain a distancing until 2022. But he believes the lifestyle of all humans will change after this pandemic. Interviewed by VOA, Pandu said the humans will be more alert and pay attention to the cleanliness. What is physical distancing for? Maybe we will never wear masks when we leave home until 2022. But we should, because every single droplet becomes the coronavirus pandemic. Maybe not physical distancing, because the biggest transmission is from droplets. It's okay, later masks can become a lifestyle. So later on, we will enter a different life because we will move vigilant against infections, said Pandu. Also highlighted in the what we call PSBB policy, which until now has not produced maximum results. This is proven the increasing of number of positive cases of corona every day. According to him, this is due to more lack of monitoring or supervision and massive education in the community. Let me tell you a story. Before pandemic life, my life was far from glamorous. I would usually go to the mall with my friends, go to out of town with my family, or simply go to the cafe alone to do my school project. I remembered that time it was a happy time. Then pandemic and COVID-19 struck our world. I can never go to the cafe, I can never go to the mall with my friends. And before the pandemic life, have you ever pressed a lift button and directly used a hand sanitizer to sanitize your hand? Me neither. I would usually just press the lift button and go in and just ignore the hand sanitizer. But now we should use the hand sanitizer after touching anything that's in public. Before the pandemic, have you ever used a face mask when you're going out or probably just going to the mall or going to the cafe? But even though you're not sick, I never. I would usually just use a coat or a t-shirt to go to the cafe, not with a face mask. It's really different when you compare before pandemic life and after pandemic life. Not only difference with our lifestyle, but also our schoolwork, our work, our communities, our colleges, every single thing we have tried to prevent the COVID-19. Dr. Ahmad Yuansa said that the additions community basis by involving community leaders. Meanwhile, the spokesman for the funding said the addition of positive confirmation cases was still happening. According to Compass.com, the number of people under surveillance, or ODP as we call it, continues to increase 240 people, and the patients under surveillance, or as we call it PDP, to 19,648 people. The data is taken from 34 provinces and 282 districts, cities in the country. Wow, this is very sad, where people, especially myself, has experienced COVID-19. We would think that we would die, but we are all fighting in this pandemic. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope, and it's been a pleasure to have a speech to you all. And thank you to the honorable judges. I hope everyone stays safe and in a safe situation. Bye. See you soon.
Okay, Fania Winola spent 6 minutes and 1 second. Thank you, Fania, for your time. Next up, we have Patricia Natalie. Please open up your camera and your microphone. To Patricia Natalie.
Technology is everywhere. If there's no technology, you won't be watching me right now. Good morning, honorable judges and everybody here. My name is Patricia, and I'm here because of technology improvements. In this 21st century, technology plays a huge role, and it affects almost every aspect of our life, from communication, education, health to economy. Especially now that we're in a pandemic, technology has become the main thing we use to keep us entertained, connected, and updated. As a student myself, I feel very helpful by all the technology we have. Through Zoom, Google Meet, Google Classroom, I can still study and stay connected with my teacher, even in a distance. Same goes to my mom and my dad. As a person who are involved in the business world, we know that now is a hard time. But luckily, technology exists. Now my parents can sell stuff to any e-commerce platform, and the buyers can buy it without meeting the seller, and they can pay through the cashless payment method. And how convenient is that? In this strange time, when we are only hang out to approximately 4 to 5 people and are prohibited to travel, communicating with a family member or friend across the world can be hard. But nowadays, when technology like FaceTime, Skype, WhatsApp exists, communicating is not a problem anymore. Just by having a phone, we can easily call people from all around the world without actually buying a plane ticket to see them. We can still keep in touch with our loved ones and be free from what millennials call FOMO, or fear of missing out. And I'm sure people who got involved in the health and medical world are thanking technology too. Because of the x-ray machine, therapy machine, etc., it makes everything so much more effective and efficient for both doctors and patients. Some of us may experience loneliness, depression, or stress because of the pandemic. And going to a therapist to take charge of our mental health is extremely a good solution. Unfortunately, therapy can cost you a lot of money, and not all of us are fortunate enough to pay for a therapist. That's why online counseling is needed. Online counseling is so much more affordable, and it also prevents you from sitting in a comfortable and awkward waiting room. That's why I think online counseling is so much better than a traditional counseling. Although there are lots of positive impact from technology, we can't forget that technology do have negative impact. One of them being cyberbullying, hate speech, even porn. Because of how sophisticated technology are, even children can access it easily. And these unwanted content are there, waiting to harm anyone who goes to the internet. There are no further security for who can go to the internet. And these children who are only going to the internet to find an answer for their homework can be harmed because of the weak security system. And we are basically harming children even before they have any defenses against them. Do you want our youth generation, who will soon be the nation next generation, to be wrecked because of these irresponsible people? Secondly, people being left out. But I do notice that this triggered them to improve their literacy and skill in technology. Because it will be a wasteful invention if there's people who don't know how helpful technology can be. Furthermore, not improving their literacy and skill in technology will result them into being outcompeted by robots. Because let's be real here, artificial intelligence and robots are rising right now, and it's time for us to step it up. Thirdly, technology increases laziness. I'm sure all of us know this, but we keep ignoring it like it is not a big deal. Technology like social media are designed to be as addictive as possible. That's why people got hooked so easily and it's hard for them to focus on important tasks. Social media not only increases laziness, procrastination, it also harms us in a physical and psychological way. My recent research has just shown that the dopamine we get from a social media notification is roughly the same as the dopamine we get from a highly addictive drugs like cocaine. And if you don't know what dopamine is an important feel-good chemical messengers in the brain that has many functions. And these led to people being overly attached to their social media. And why is it a harmful thing, you might ask? Because these make people won't appreciate and or fully enjoy what they have in their life, like physical togetherness or quality time with their loved ones. And if you have been a long-term Instagram user, you might notice that some posts from account you follow show up late on your feed. And it's not because your phone is lagging, it's because actually technology company can control the dial for when and how long it will show up on your feed. And this the reason behind this is so that the person who posted it will having to frequently come back to see the new likes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, technology is an extremely important and useful inventions for our lives. But being a technology user means we're able to act as wise as possible with our time, mind, and health. As the famous American stage Mae West once said, you only live once, but if you do it right, once is enough. And sitting hours scrolling through your technology is not going to help you reach the purpose of life. And that is why start to build your dream life now, because later might become never. Thank you very much for your attention.
Abigail, spend 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Thank you, Abigail, for your time. Next up, let's welcome. Next up, I'm sorry, Patricia Natalie, spend 5 minutes and 43 seconds. Thank you, Patricia, for your time. Next up, let's welcome Abigail Manuela. To Abigail Manuela, please open up your camera and your microphone. The time and stage is all yours.
Just another day in March 2020. I put on my uniform, a car full of students, arrived at school at approximately 7 a.m. The usual routine. It was a seemingly normal day as I came into a seemingly normal classroom. But one thing caught my attention. I saw my friends crowding in one corner, and no, they weren't fighting or anything. They were just talking. And they were talking about COVID-19. When I first heard about it, I was completely clueless. What in the world is COVID-19? My class was terrified. We assumed it was like some kind of zombie apocalypse, especially after we saw those videos of people collapsing on the streets. Health protocols were then applied. All students, teachers, and staff are required to wear masks and have their temperatures checked before coming into the school building. But one day, our teachers gave an announcement that we didn't have to go to school for 2 weeks. Our dreams have come true. Joy and excitement was all we felt as we planned on what next series to watch or online games to play. Little did we know that those 2 weeks are about to be a whole year. Good morning, everyone. I'm Abigail Manuela from Bino School Bukasi, and today I'm going to be talking about life before and after the pandemic. 31st December 2019. World Health Organization reported a case of pneumonia in the city of Wuhan, province of Hubei, China. This pandemic continued to spread and cause a lot of deaths and new cases outside of China. Therefore, on March 11, 2020, World Health Organization stated COVID-19 as a global pandemic. Now, let me take you on a trip down memory lane. Remember when you used to eat and chat around together with your friends in the school cafeteria, but now you can only communicate through text or calls? Remember when your favorite teacher used to make the whole class laugh, but now you can only see them through the screens? Remember when your school used to hold various fun events that we all look forward to, but now they're all held online and through Zoom? Remember when you could go outside freely, but now you must stay at home and follow health protocols whenever you're going outside? It all feels different for me, you, and everyone else in this world. COVID-19 has no doubt turned our life upside down. This pandemic has made me personally, as a student, more anxious, to be honest. My motivation for school has dropped to the Mariana Trench. I get easily distracted during class and my grades have flopped badly. To add, this online school has made me cut off my interaction with some of my friends who I was previously close to. I'm sure most of us can agree on that part. Online school has made our year way different. All we do every day is just sit on our chair, open our laptop, and click on a Zoom link. So much of our social lives and social development revolves around being at school, interacting with people. And without it now, it doesn't feel safe. But I don't want to make everyone here all gloomy and sad from the reminiscing. So what if I tell you that there's a secret recipe to making this pandemic not as bad as you think it is? First, we can start from small things, small positive changes. All of us can, of course, relate that if we've gained a lot of weight by just staying at home, as all we do is eat and eat and eat. Well, I'm talking about myself. But that's completely fine as long as you keep staying healthy. And the one thing to make that happen is by simply exercising. Interestingly, in Indonesia, this COVID-19 has given rise to more people riding their bicycles, which is such a good thing. Second, developing our skills. I remember in 2020, my English teacher asked us to write what our goals are for the next academic year. And I stated that I wanted to improve my writing skills. During this pandemic, I have found myself getting better at writing, thanks to reading online news and Wattpad fanfictions. A new interest I picked up was graphic design, and I found it really fun and decided to dig my skills even more. Third, seizing opportunities. You may think that there aren't a lot of opportunities out there during this pandemic, such as competitions being abolished. But remember, when one door closes, another one opens. For example, I decided to start my small online business in January 2021 and also start my own YouTube channel, which I've learned so many things from the both of them. Other than that, there are in fact plenty of competitions held online, such as this Cendana festival competition, which we could make use of to grow our skills. Last but of course not least, simply living in the moment. This pandemic has made me realize to not take things for granted and be more grateful for what I have. It has made me spend more quality time with my family, something I didn't do often due to school taking up most of my time. We should also take advantage of this pandemic to learn to love and accept ourselves further. In conclusion, COVID-19 is like a marathon. And no, it's not the usual 42 kilometers marathon, as we've got a pretty long way to go before we cross the finish line. The only choice we have is to go for it and find the good in this pandemic. As Karen Sullivan once said, in the face of adversity, We have a choice. We can either be bitter or we can be better. Those words are my North Star. In the face of pandemic, we can either choose to be resentful or we can react to it positively. Thank you.
Abigail, spend 6 minutes and 20 seconds. 26 seconds. Thank you, Abigail, for your time. Next up, we have Andrew Mathian. Please, Andrew Mathian, open up your camera and your microphone. The time and stage is all yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, what legacy will you leave your kids? We have all heard of at least one story where a billionaire leaves a will to his successor with truckload amount of fortune. We are beyond that scale. Are we leaving this much to our kids or this much? If I were the kid, I would surely be happier with a heap amount of wealth. This is not materialism. This is realism. Even for philanthropists, it needs money to build shelter for the ones in need. Don't you agree? So, what can we leave our next generation that will be worth big bucks? Ladies and gentlemen, if the last decade has taught us of anything, it is that the most valuable thing will no longer be money. In fact, if money is all we have in the world, we will still be the poorest person on earth without love, friendship, and dreams. Looking at the pandemic, the most valuable thing in the world will be fresh air. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates may leave a fortune that will never run out in 10 generations, but without fresh air, it will all mean nothing. In front of nature, money is worthless. Without fresh air, we cannot plant trees, we can't breed poultry, and we can't drink healthy water. This is not rocket science. I believe you have heard of similar things from countless people out there. Yet what we act upon is totally different. Ask ourselves this: what have we done to cleanse the air around us? Look around us. Everywhere we go, we see aircon, paint, and electricity. Without a chemical called freon, aircon couldn't function. The freon will pollute the air around it, and paint does the same thing. It continually releases a toxic chemical which will finally choke us. And electricity is the same. It produces carbon dioxide whenever it is generated. They look like big pollution sources, but are they really? Are any of you fan of Jackie Chan or Jet Li? They are amazing, aren't they? Look at how they move in the movies regardless of their old age. Long ago, these kinds of individuals were common sight. You could find them anywhere you go. Athletic bodies with ripped abs are the standard. People were healthy. There was no such thing as AIDS, COVID, SARS, or anything. We were just fine. If we had kept going like that, there wouldn't be any doomsday in a million millennia. However, in just a few centuries, we have invented countless things. We have been seeking ways to be faster, stronger, and more efficient. First, we invented electricity, which will slowly grill us. Then we invented plastic, which will slowly bury us. And we started decorating our houses with paint, which will slowly choke us. Whenever there is a new invention, we cannot wait to get our hands on it. Look at us. We cannot live a single day without polluting the environment. We buy lunch and the next thing we do is throw a plastic wrap away. We buy a new phone and the next thing we throw away is the box and the plastic cover. You can find a new environmentally friendly material to replace plastic wrap. Yet, it will just end up the same, pile up somewhere without getting care, blocking your view of this paradise we live in. In Maldives, you can find an island made of trash. People there call it the Great Pacific Garbage, or some other call it the trash island in paradise. The biggest pollution source in the world is ignorance. We know yet we don't care. We see yet we don't wake up. We understand yet we don't change. We ignorantly point our fingers at the things we think as the culprit of pollution. Yet the further we look, the further we are from the truth. We can accuse our neighbor of the biggest polluters in the neighborhood. We can keep on saying that plastic is the biggest pollution. We can even say there is no point of me taking care of the world if nobody follows. The only place that we are not looking is us, ourselves. We are too ignorant to realize that we need to stop throwaway culture and using environmentally harmful products. But the second the lockdown is lifted, we return to the way we live, changing nothing. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could just care a little bit more, we could always carry a water bottle wherever we go. We could turn off our electricity equipment when we don't use them. We could walk instead of drive. We could spend billions or trillions into making people care. But if we don't, nothing will change. There are 8 billion people out there. I can't connect to all of them, but you are here listening. My name is Andrew, and I humbly request your help in creating a legacy worth passing on. An earth with fresh air. Will you walk down the path with me? Thank you.
Andrew spent 6 minutes and 33 seconds. Thank you, Andrew, for your time. Next up, let's welcome Laras Rauli. To Laras Lauri, please open up your camera and your microphone. Thank you. The time and stage is all yours.
December 31, 2019 is where this all began. On December 31, 2019, WHO has informed cases with an unknown cause in Wuhan City, China. On January 30, 2020, Dr. Tedros Adhanom, WHO Director General, has declared the novel coronavirus outbreak as a public emergency of international concern, WHO highest level of alarm. Coronavirus of death significantly, and this situation terrified and traumatized many people, including me, because there are so many sudden deaths of family members and friends. This event rocked the whole world. This event changed the life of many people. Good morning, the honorable judges and fellow participants. My name is Laras Roli Victoria Rahmanto. I am from Junior High School 1 Denpasar, Bali, and today I will be talking about life before and after the pandemic. You still remember how life was before the pandemic? Let me remind you, it was awesome. The world never stopped moving. Even some metropolitan cities was called the city that never sleeps. Everybody has the freedom to do whatever they want. Everyone was chasing their dream, studying and working for 24 hours non-stop. Let's just say that humans back then were never satisfied with their life. I guess that's why they never had the time to rest or sleep or spending time with their loved one. Do you remember when people used to make large gatherings for hundreds, thousands, even millions of people one place at a time? For example, concert. When a popular singer like Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Adele, or BTS decided to hold a concert, there are thousands, even millions of people who are willing to empty their pocket just to get a concert ticket. At the concert, they are singing, dancing, and having fun without worrying about the germs that are coming out of their mouth or the person around them. Not only concert,
but also weddings, school gatherings, festivals, or simply when we are hanging out with our friends, where people that gathered in a large number was a normal thing to do. Another great example is offline school. At school, we shake hands with our teacher and hug our friend. At lunchtime, some of the students don't even wash their hands because they thought it was a normal thing to do, which is not. And oh, we had that one classmate who always catch a flu but never put an effort on wearing a mask. So when they cough or when they sneeze, the germs spread around like a wildfire. But now everything has changed. Since the pandemic, people cannot do the things that they used to. We can't hug, and we can't even have fun without being at least 2 meters away from each other. We have to wear a mask every time we go outside and bring a sanitizer with us. It's safe to say that coronavirus has a huge impact on our lifestyle. With this situation, we almost do every single activity via online, like this competition, school, meetings, working, and surprisingly, concert. Sadly, by not meeting friends or other family member, it made some people feel lonely, especially old people and children who are forbidden to go outside of their house. But the worst impact of COVID-19 are people losing their job. The economic system is declining everywhere, especially the tourist area like Bali. Based on Bali BPS Go.id, in the midst of COVID-19, GRDP was calculated using the same method by making several adjustments of the way data is collected. The Balinese economic in the fourth quarter of 2020 was recorded to have grown by 0.94%, but the Balinese economic shrunk by 12.21% year on year, which represented 0.94% in the previous quarter. The coronavirus has also forced thousands of millions of children across the world to either adopt learning from home or drop out of school altogether. Many people found this method quite hard to understand and use, especially old people who doesn't understand how to run a technology. But not to mention, by using this method of learning, students tend to get tired, distracted, and bored, which make the learning session itself quite useless. But now that the situation has changed, are we going to sit around all day long waiting for our Prince Charming to come and save the day? No. Although we stay at home most of our time, we still need to fulfill our obligation, first as a student, and second, as a person who lives in this country. Besides of doing our obligation as a student, which is studying, there are so many other things that we can do to fill our free time. We can use the internet to find great information and interesting facts about the world to boost our knowledge. We can also join an online competition to expand our skill, our knowledge, and our experience for the sake of our own future. In our obligation as a person, we should stop complaining and blaming the situation on other people. Instead of complaining, we should follow all of the protocols that are already set by the government. Wear your mask every time you go outside. Wash your hand before and after doing activity. And lastly, social distance yourself with other people. By doing all of these things, you already put a stop on spreading COVID-19 to other people. So, at the end of the day, you can still follow your dreams because nothing is stopping you, even the coronavirus itself. Thank you and have a nice day.
Lara spent 6 minutes and 12 seconds. Thank you, Laras, for your time. And next up, we have Anastasia Angeline.
Hi, am I audible?
Yes. Okay. The time and stage is all yours.
Starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. A year is how long we have been in a pandemic. Due to COVID-19, the virus has spread globally. Of course, during the pandemic, we reduced the frequency of going out and do everything if possible at home. Greetings, honorable judges and audiences. My name is Anastasia Angeline Valerie from SMP Sudarso in Batam. One question to all of you. How has the pandemic changed our lives? Personally, my life changed drastically in this pandemic. Let's start with the first point, lifestyle. Pandemic made us realize that working from home and staying at home is possible, and going out partying is not an obligation for us to do. By not going out, we save money and energy by just staying at home. Furthermore, we finally get the time to have our own me time and the time to go out our potential. Most people can finally achieve their ultimate life goal, that is having leisure time at least once in a week, with lesser mobility and lesser requirement to overwork yourself. A lot of people have achieved the balance between spending time between work and their leisure time. This condition rarely happened before due to the constant pressure of them to prioritize work. Why is having leisure time a treasure? Because leisure time enables you to recharge and take a rest, to avoid you from burning out. Burning out is very, very dangerous because it may affect your passion in work and it will decrease your performance as well. Isn't that a great thing to hear? To finally get the time to rest rather than prioritizing work as before? But most importantly, we are more hygienic in this pandemic. We wash our hands regularly, use hand sanitizers, and barely touch our face. We have tried so hard to lead the people to maintain their hygiene. It failed. A lot of people are underestimating the importance of hygiene. Right now, knowing that this virus is very deadly for their life, most people are afraid and starting to maintain their hygiene. Secondly, business and education. This pandemic gave us a lot of advantages, such as working and studying abroad without actually going there. Many people dream of studying or working somewhere far away, but are hindered about housing and living costs. But with studying online, they can finally join classes and work from the company of their dreams without thinking about living costs. Many children and employees out there have the potential of excelling in higher education and work. Just because they don't have the cost of further living costs, they can reach their high dreams. Now, the pandemic has given us a chance. So go, reach them. What's stopping you? Make good use of this period of time. We are given this long period of time and it's up to us on what to do with it. For example, Mr. Darrell is probably judging us right now in Toronto, Canada. By the way, Mr. Darrell, congratulations on your award. Thirdly, work-life balance. Frankly speaking, this staying at home period helps a lot of people, such as mothers with their newborns or celebrities. Why? Mothers with their newborns can finally work from home without leaving their infants to daycare or babysitters, which is safer due to many cases of abuse in daycare. Not to mention, celebrities can finally gather and have time with their family and focus on their loved ones rather than focusing on their image in the media. This work-life balance is very essential to employees with family by their side as well. They do not need to worry about missing out on remarkable time with their children, siblings, or many more. This has been the dilemma of most employees that hold important positions in their career. For example, CEOs, managers, and supervisors, and many more. Not to mention, we can now work and be successful without losing quality time with their loved ones, such as parents with their children in their growing up phase. This is very important because children only grow up once. Once you lose it, it will never go back. Some children can be mentally damaged if they do not have a parent figure in the growing up phase. Sadly speaking, balancing work life with personal life is really, really hard. Even some people I know are working overtime and don't have time to rest nor eat. This can cause death. That is why this pandemic taught us to balance our life and how to take a good care of ourselves, especially mental health. Some people I know even experience panic attacks or breakdown due to feeling drained or overwhelmed at work. And now, people have the time to actually take a good care of their mental health and can contact professionals online without actually meeting them face to face. Some people are hindered by meeting psychologists due to busy schedule they have. So, now we have a lot of time to take a good care of ourselves. Let's prioritize our mental health. Lastly, knowing that our mobility is limited, we can't reach each other as often as before. So this conflicts our relationships with family and friends. People's perception of friendship and relationship has changed on a major level. How so? We won't waste a friend or family meetup by playing phones and not talking to each other, or prioritizing the aesthetics on an Instagram feed or story. Or worsely, faking on social media, faking us you were doing something fun when in reality, everyone stays quiet and hooked to their phones. Not only that, nowadays you are blessed with many technologies inventions, such as Google Meet, Zoom, WhatsApp, which helps a lot with contacting friends and family from such miles away. Especially some people are hindered from going home due to COVID-19 restrictions. Not to mention, staying at home fixes many relationships with our family. Many children lose their parent figure due to parents working overtime. Children going without a parent figure can cause psychological damage, such as children will not be open to their parents towards the problem they face in life, and bad behavior, trust issues, and some children fell into promiscuity such as drugs, free sex, alcohol, etc. So, ladies and gentlemen, quarantine is never a waste of time. Just because it didn't go the way that we wanted it to be, but as long as we learn something, it's never a waste of time. Wishing things would have gone differently is not going to fix anything. So rather than thinking what could have happened if this doesn't happen, it's time for us to appreciate the good things and to grow out of the box and shine. Thank you for your attention and good morning.
Valerie spent 6 minutes and 8 seconds. Thank you, Valerie, for your time. Next up, let's welcome Muhammad Garalt. To Muhammad Garalt, the time and stage is all yours.
Am I audible? Thank you. The honorable judges and the respectable peers in this competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've been having a very pleasant day so far and so forth. First of all, I want to say thank you for giving me a chance to compete in this competition and to qualify for the final round. I am Muhammad Gael Ariel Aska from Junior High School 4 Samarinda, and today I would like to talk about technology improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, in the 21st century, we have entered the fourth industrial revolution. And seeing from the technology that we use today, it's very obvious that we have come a long way since the first industrial revolution inventions, such as the steam engine, to the fourth industrial technology, such as the internet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the technology that we use today has obviously made so many good impacts in our life, and it has made so many good uses in our life. Because nowadays, we can connect with each other even though we are from far away by using applications such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Line, Zoom meetings, Google meetings, and many others. And also, the technology that we use today has a potential to increase our knowledge, because nowadays we can search about things that is interesting to us by searching it on the internet search engines. And also, the technology that we use today has provided us with ebooks, so we can read books anywhere and anytime. But, ladies and gentlemen, we could never deny that the technology that we use today has absolutely no flaws. Because take an example such as the internet. The internet can be a very cool place for those that are not careful, because the internet has been used by some bad people to do many bad intentions, such as first, stalking and blackmailing. Ladies and gentlemen, stalking and blackmailing in this era is a kind of an easy thing to do, because it's very easy to know about your personal information. And I am not talking about your favorite food or your favorite color. But what I am talking is your very private personal information, such as where do you live, what's your real name, what's your parents' name, and even your credit card number. In fact, in 2020, there are a total of 36 billion data breaches in the world. And also, there have been three publicly reported breaches in the first 3 quarters of 2020 alone. And second, online bullying. Online bullying is the most common problem that we face in this era. Now, if you don't know what's the difference between bullying and online bullying, the difference basically is in the platform. Bullying happens in the real world, while cyberbullying happens in the virtual world. Cyberbullying is usually when someone, typically a teenager, bullies or harasses other people on the internet by spreading their personal information, by spreading false rumors, pejorative labels, sexual remarks, and many others. And usually, the victim of cyberbullying is experiencing low self-esteem, increased suicidal ideation, and many other mix of negative emotions such as scared, angry, frustrated, depressed, and many others. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we should not take online bullying or any other kind of bullying lightly, because it just might change the way someone lives. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I already said from the points above, we can see that the problem with technology improvement is not from the resources, but it comes from us, the users, the people. So, what can we do? What can we do to prevent this from happening in our surroundings? Well, first, we have to be responsible in using the internet. Don't create conflicts with other people on the internet because it has literally no use. And also, don't be very easily manipulated by the people on the internet. Second, don't spread false rumors or belittle other people because of their ethnicity, religion, body shape, and many others. And third, increase your empathy. Because by increasing your empathy, you will realize that there is no need, absolutely no need to be rude or harass other people on the internet. And last but not least, be responsible of your actions. And also keep educating yourself about certain matters. And I certainly hope that with this solution, we can use the technology just like the way it was intended for us. Thank you for your attention to my speech. Good day.
Muhammad Gerald spent 5 minutes and 55 seconds. Thank you, Muhammad Gerald, for your time. And last but not least, let's welcome Janice. Please open up your camera and your microphone. The time and stage is all yours. Yes.
May I start now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just saw a cartoon about time traveling. What do you guys think about time traveling? Isn't it fancy? Technology as we know today has vastly improved for our grandparents' generation. If my 17-year-old grandfather could miraculously time travel to today, I believe he would have an amazing reaction. Wow, what is this? A time machine on the palm of my hand? Is there a 50-meter glass building? Wait, is that car hovering above the ground? I believe if anybody from the 80s time had traveled to today, no matter what their ages were, their eyes would spark with joy and their inner child would jump around, just like me when I first saw you. Technology is deeply connected with social interaction because our social interaction is deeply connected with technology that we have. Imagine if today you suddenly lost your phone and access to internet. How would you feel? I think I would go insane. I can imagine myself taking a break from Instagram or YouTube even just for a day. To completely lose access to them will feel an Asian caveman. That is a problem, and that is why we should keep ourselves away from our phones more. You heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. If technology has indeed improved our lives so much that we can't live without it, then it is about time we relearn about surviving with less. I realized this when I heard that Steve Jobs limited the duration of how much his kids use gadgets. Surprisingly, it's not the only one. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, limit his kids' television time. But what if the children need technology study? What if they are studying programming? Silicon Valley answers this question best. Regardless of being the headquarters of all technology development on Earth, a lot of Silicon Valley schools use Turbo and Python in staff coding. And they also teach cooperation and respect in staff coding lessons. The main reason is because we have got enough technology improvements. Do you not have time to clean your home? There's a robot for it. Does your personal assistant keep on quitting on you? There's a digital personal assistant. Did you pass your last driving test? Hang in there, I got your back. Self-driving cars will be available soon, even self-driving space rocket. Over the recent year, we have been counting on technology in literally everything, from toasting our breakfast, translating, finding information to rescuing people in the operating rooms. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, if there are still things left to be invented, I can assure you that there are not many. We have got everything. Based on this knowledge, I would like us to take a look at the corner that has been neglected as technology is improving. In the past, there was no handphone. So when people spoke in the public, the others listened with undivided attention. That is why nobody misunderstood President Sukarno's speech for Indonesian Declaration of Independence. Why? Because we were addicted to technologies back then. Look how often we misunderstand information today due to being distracted by our gadgets. In the past, computer was not a fashion item, so everybody worked together to solve difficult problems. If there was disagreement, the dispute stayed in the room and was solved right away, privately. Tell me the last service scandal that you heard. I am sure it happened not too long ago. The last time I checked, technology still could not just broadcast any information it wanted automatically, because technology is mature. But unfortunately, some of the users are not. Have five people Friday insults, argue about irrelevance on if nobody knows each other because it's very easy to make new friends. That is also why divorce is the new trend. It's easy to find a new soulmate. You can even buy the digital one. If everybody could just rely on their gadgets less, I'm sure this would happen. We have been staring at these bright flat screens for so long. We forget that there are people at the other ends of the lines. We lose our patience, our respect, and our attention too easily because we are too distracted. The next technology improvement that we need is no longer about the tool, but about the people. We need to make sure that the talented pieces are used correctly. We need to remember we are the owners of the technology. Just because our phone is doing a meeting doesn't mean we have to answer it all the time. Just because we are in trouble doesn't mean we have to tell the world about every single detail. Just because we have 50,000 followers on Instagram doesn't mean that they will care about us. If there is an irony that I realize about our technological lifestyle, it is that it is full of illusions that are unreal. We have been on the search of efficiency so much that we forgot. Hey, maybe it is about time to start improving the tool and start improving the user. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to reclaim what is ours. Let's bring back respect to the neighborhood, cooperation in problem solving, and appreciation in relationship by counting us on technology and more on ourselves. It is time for us to focus on improving ourselves in using technology. We can all do this by having perfect control in technology. Inventing a new technology may seem like a cool thing, but there's no value in it if we lose our humanity and interaction in the process. Allow me to close this speech with a quote by Tony Jambito. Instead of using technology to automate processes, think about using technology to enhance human interaction. My name is Janice. I am an owner of technology. Therefore, I am counting on technology less and more on humanity. Thank you.
Janice Pen, 5 minutes and 45 seconds. Thank you, Janice, for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow, that was such an outstanding performance from all of the finalists. Right, Bang Harits?
I am right here.
Okay, Bang Harits, what do you think about the performance?
Wow. That's one word that could describe it. Wow.
Yes, wow.
I remember being in their place. Oh, this. I sound so old, but I'm not. But like, props to all the participants, yang udah join in. I think y'all did great, and you'll be hearing the judge's decision on May 29th, so be on the lookout for that. I'm just gonna give it to Riri, I guess.
Okay, so this is the end of the speech competitions. We would like to thank to the judges, Miss Fanny and Mr. Darrell, for giving us their time and efforts for these competitions. And
Really, my apologies, Riri. I had one quick thing that I wanted to mention. So yeah, I agree with both of you. It was quite an amazing performance. I'm pretty sure Fanny is going to agree with me as well. But I wanted to quickly confirm that everyone wrote their own speeches, because I think sort of plagiarism and plagiat is like a huge problem. So could I please have each and every one of the participants to just confirm with a yes that you wrote your own speeches? So could we start with Vania first, please? Oh, Fania, are you there? Or feel free to put it in the chat, you guys. Oh, okay. Okay, we got Anastasia right there. Patricia, sorry.
I wrote my own speech.
You did, okay. Abigail?
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Andrew?
Yes, me.
Cool. Laras?
Yeah, I wrote my own speech.
You did, okay. Muhammad Garalt, how about you?
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Janice?
Yes, I wrote my own speech.
Cool. And last one, Fania. We'll probably wait on Fania. Not sure if she's here, but okay, we'll probably just wait for her in the chat. Yeah. Sorry about that. Really, just wanted to quickly make sure about that.
It's okay, Mr. Darrell. Okay. And we would like to apologize if we did something wrong in pronouncing your name, and etc. And a reminder for all of us that there will be a feedback session from our judges to the finalists at 4:30 p.m. today. So to our finalists, it's a mandatory to join the session. So please don't forget. And to all the finalists, please open up your camera because we're gonna have a photo sections.
So, Heidi Mary,
Yes.
how many minutes actually we have, especially for the educator to finish their value, especially for the participants? How many minutes?
So for finishing the value, you can finish it whenever you want before May 29. However, today we have the feedback sessions at 4:30. So make sure you make some comments for the participants.
Okay. Comment in the general, not one by one participants.
Actually one by one, because we have feedback sessions for each participant. So you're going to have give the comments to every single participants.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Once again, please open up your camera. To Fania, please open up your camera. Okay. I think Fania is not here. So to again, please take the lead.
Hello, is Egan here? Okay.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do the countdown. Okay, everyone strike a pose. 1, 2, 3. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yay, finish. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you for joining and have a nice day. You can leave the Zoom.